Hi, can political systems change peacefully? Well, looking in the longer history, we notice that revolutions are very bloody, like the French Revolution. But last century, we see two countries change their political systems completely, almost without bloodshed. The first one is, of course, the Soviet Union. Almost overnight, the Soviet Union dissolved and a new Russia is born. Of course, in the subsequent years, Russia's people has been living under quite hard living conditions. But now Russia is coming back as a great country. The other example is China. After the death of Mao, Deng Xiaoping almost overnight overturned the communist system into the communist system with Chinese characteristics. By adding the words with Chinese characteristics, that means the communist system is no longer communist. And in a short 30 years, China becomes the world's largest trading country. It is also the second largest um, GDP country in the world. In the subsequent years, we can only see more and more openness of the Chinese society as well as more economical strength. So people ask me, is there any good political system to replace the now damaged democracy and the combination of democracy with capitalism? Well, only times can tell. I don't have a solution. What I can only see is that the democracy now is running into big problems. For example, in US, the both parties basically have the same um, policies. Well, there are several disadvantages of democracy that I can see. First of all, is the election cycles. Democracy usually will dictate a term of office for the elected leaders. In order to be re-elected, these leaders can only focus on some short-term projects which can deliver results in order for them to get re-elected. That means long-term problems like climate change hasn't been properly handled. The other problem is, of course, the cost of election. It needs too much money. Politicians need political donations in order to get elected. And of course, there's no free lunch. When politicians receive these political donations, they have to listen to their donors. Otherwise, next time when the donation is withdrawn, they will not get elected. At the moment, for example, the US is spending approximately 500 to 600 billion dollars on military or defense. Let's say the military industrial complex agree to put forth 1% of their income as lobbying fees. With the current 534 representatives and congressmen in the US Parliament, the industrial complex can spend approximately $10 million on each of these people in order to influence their opinion. No wonder why US has money to send missiles towards ISIS, whereas the secondary schools lacking funding isn't got any money for it. So this kind of problem is exacerbated by the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few. Capitalism, meaning business, is there only for the purpose of making profit. These people want to in, in, increase the margin, but at the same time decrease the cost. One of the ways to decrease cost is, of course, minimize tax. Government is then cannot depend on the business to provide the funding it needs. At the same time, this business will try to change the rules to suit them. The only way government can do it under such a situation is to borrow money. When the government debts or the interest to this debt is greater than the income, then the government will run into problems like what the Romans have and like many other great countries which felt under the same situation. So, is there any better solution? No, I don't. I don't have any better solution. I can only point out that democracy as well as dictatorship are not perfect systems. We need to find a better system, and we need to find it soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.